Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. In today's video, I'm going to go over my Juggernaut, Bone Shatter, currently Bleed Bone Shatter, which I'm not sure if I like that much right now, but it seems to be okay, and it allows me some extra points to play around with in order to get some more defenses. Currently, I have 108,000 armor with permanent uptime on my basalt flask. I actually had almost 200,000. I was running grace with iron reflexes, but I decided that in order to do that, I was running some weird spell suppression hybrid thing with Elevore, and I wasn't able to get max spell suppression, so I just decided to cut that out. Although I'm not 100% sure I would have needed max spell suppression. And I have permanent uptime on a Taste of Hate, which is giving me Fizz taken as cold, and a basalt flask, which just has armor during effect. So, and I'm achieving that through the trader. I don't have any flask nodes, so I'm achieving that entirely through flask charges gained on a synthesized belt with crafted flask effect duration. I just need a little bit, basically, because 9.6 seconds in both accounts. They need to be 10 seconds since the passive makes you gain charges every 4 seconds, or every 5 seconds rather. So they need to be over 10 seconds in order to fill up fully. And then I need over 50% charge recovery on my basalt flask, which I get with combination between the implicit here and that. So I am going to go ahead and run an Uber Shaper. I have no idea how this will go. I tried twice previously and I died specifically, I was able to tank most things, but when all three of, like, the two clones and the main one shot the triple ball things that they shoot, like the frost bolts, apparently those penetrate 40% cold resist. So even with my amulet allowing me to get reduction based on my chaos resist, and I currently have 73, which I have through Born of Chaos, which I'd like a second one because, well, it would be nice to have a little bit more, especially for Fizz as chaos, both through altars and also through Simulacrum, which I've made it to wave 30 a couple of times, but both times I got really bad mods on wave 30 and was not able to beat Kosis. And part of that too is just I have very low DPS, so eventually I'll make a mistake that'll get me killed, like allowing too many of the ground things that he detonates to build up. So yeah, that's just something that happens, but we'll do this Shaper, and then I will go this Uber Shaper. Last I checked, I was very easily able to tank everything else, though. The beam is a little bit gnarly. I do have a little higher regen at the moment, so hopefully the beam will be a little better. But yeah, and then getting my health pool higher will be nice too, because I only have 3,355. But I am currently working on getting more health. I'm starting to work towards Bloodless, so that should help quite a bit. All right, so my DPS kind of builds over time type thing as I attack, because both I gain the Bone Shatter stacks, which give me just more damage. It's not more damage with hits, it's just more damage overall, as well as I do also have the Crimson Dance, which allows, I think that's Crimson Dance, which allows me to stack up to 8 bleeds. And I am also running the Ruthless support, which means every third attack is doing 100% more damage. And the nice thing about this is you get really, really huge bleeds every third attack. And if you can get to the point where you're attacking fast enough, my bleed duration's about 8 seconds, so if I can attack, fast enough to where I stack multiple Ruthless bleeds at once, they end up going doing a lot of damage, especially once I get my Bone Shatter stacks too. But as you can see, damage is still a little low. I'm going to work on the damage a little bit. I probably want to get a vulnerability, one of those new jewels that you get from Sanctum. I'm sure if I can get like some good vulnerability, one of those, then I'll be able to increase my damage quite considerably. Let's see, where do you go? Oh, right here. Didn't even go anywhere. Teleported. But yeah, it does require a little bit of ramping, similar to a poison build, in order to get things done. I can face tank pretty much anything in a normal map, even without Vol Molten Shell. The only alter mod that gives me any troubles is the plus physical is extra chaos damage one, which is, and also the minus chaos resist one as well, because I am not super overcapped on chaos resist. I'm just, what, 74, with 73 being my max, so I'm only overcapped by 1. So if I get like minus 50 chaos resist, then my elemental defenses also drop pretty considerably. So that's one thing to consider. Oh, it looks like, okay, I didn't actually know that. Apparently, Fire and Fury here heal as well in these little areas. So that's good to know. So I actually do have to hit the timed crank because my DPS isn't high enough, and I still don't have the mod that lowers regen. So go ahead and hit this. That should allow me to actually do damage. So I'm learning a lot of things here. One of the things that people asked me was, if you're making an immortal character, how are you supposed to learn the boss mechanics? Well, I've actually learned a lot by having a character that can, you know, basically observe. Since I don't have to worry about being one-shot by anything, I get to actually observe like the different attack animations, any kind of voice lines, anything like that. I learned a lot about like the all fight. I did some delving, did some all that I did not know previously. So I know, you know, which attacks actually do damage, and any like he says Zimzalam or something, and it slams down, and it actually did like a couple hundred damage to my health bar at depth like 250 or so. So I do know that's a dangerous attack if it's able to hurt this character at all. I know that's something I definitely want to avoid. I'm not very good at the delve fights and haven't practiced them, but I've done a ton of delve bosses on this character. So, and yeah, I kind of got to learn which of their attacks are dangerous through that. I also learned things like the storm, as far as from the Veritania. Her storm does like stacking damage, so even though I can sit on it for a while, after about 5 seconds or so it started draining my health very rapidly. I checked for my resistances and max resistances, and I didn't see my max res going down, so I just have to assume. I wasn't able to find anything on PoEDB about it, or the PoE wiki about exactly what it does, and I didn't see a debuff on my character either, so I'm able to pay attention to all these details. So now I know that the storm just like stacks up damage over time, and it's kind of similar to darkness in delve. I can easily go to 100 darkness before I start degenning health as well, which is really nice. I'm able to delve down pretty deep in order to get things going there. So that is very useful to know. As far as this, it's not very helpful for other characters in terms of practice. But yeah, similar to this. Oh, and one of the reasons I'm doing Taste of Hate is because I'll take 20% less cold damage. I should have mentioned that. So during this Shaper fight, I'm hoping now, with my current level of regen, which at a baseline is like 1400 or so, and it can scale. I've seen it go up to like 6,000 when there's just a lot of things hitting me for physical damage at once. That was before I had quite as much physical taken as elemental. Currently I'm taking 20% from my shield, another 13% from my helmet as fire. And then I have my Watcher's Eye, which is another 11%. And then I have the Taste of Hate, which is another 11%. So what's that? 42 plus, 13. So 57% of physical damage taken as elemental, which is greatly reduced. My pinnacle boss EHP is like 130,000 without molten shell. With molten shell it's like 700,000 or something. I still don't have a ball molten shell, and I probably should, but it seemed kind of overkill. And honestly, I just keep prioritizing and thinking about other things, so it hasn't been something that I've really worried about. But yeah, none of the standard stuff really does any damage. It's just like really extreme circumstances where my health bar will move at all. You can see me taking like little micro hits of like 20 something, but even my black doesn't go down. It's still 44. And I will lose 1% black for every 200 fire damage taken from hits recently. And even with so much of my damage taken as fire from the Dawnbreaker, my black chance actually rarely goes down. So that's another thing to note. I tried a black spell block version of this and a spell suppression version, like I mentioned before. The black spell block one I might actually transition back to, because I was able to pick up some damage while doing that. But yeah, I can just kind of sit in the Shaper Beam here. Looks like I can tank the slams. I can sit in 2 Shaper Beams, although I do start degenning in 2, so I probably shouldn't try 3. Once I have a little bit more health, that'll give me more regen as well, and then I'll be able to go ahead and get things going. I am going to move these into the corner, even though they don't actually pose a threat to me. I don't know if I need to do that, because yeah, I can just sit on these, but because they are degens and I am getting a little bit of degen from them, they'll basically kind of soft increase the amount of damage I'm taking from other things. But yeah, as you can see, and then this phase, these balls don't really do any, oh, they do a little bit of damage. Okay. Well, so much for that idea. Okay, the triple ball thing there is the one thing that I'm kind of worried about. Okay, so I'm a little more durable against that now. I think a little more health, a little more regen, and maybe I will add on the spell block at some point, and I should be able to tank those comfortably. I'm still level 94, so I still have a few levels to get, which are going to go, currently the next 2 levels I get are going to go into life. I keep getting close to 95 and then testing things. I should have just gotten the level. It would have made life a lot easier. Alright, let's see if we can find him. There he is. So yeah, I do have to kind of dodge around mechanics still, but I think I'm pretty close to being able to face tank everything. My current anoint on my amulet is Inveterate, but I don't really have any other spell suppression, so I literally just have 15% spell suppression. I have a pair of gloves with 14% I could wear. It's not like it's unhelpful or completely unhelpful. Try to at least mostly group these together. But yeah, I'm to the point, I would like to get to the point where I do not at all need, I don't need to use Molten Shell at any point. Yeah. And hopefully we phase him soon. I think it's roughly about 1/3 of his health. Another thing I really need to do is get a quality on my vulnerability, which I don't currently have, which gives me bleed duration. That would make stacking up damage a lot easier. Alright, let's just get all these balls over here, so they're kind of in the same place. Yeah, I could practice dodging those with this as well, because I don't have to worry about it being deadly if I make a mistake. So it's just really convenient. So I get to practice my ball management, I get to practice dodging certain mechanics, I get to look at the different mechanics and everything. Alright, so yeah, it looks like I should phase him shortly. I have him close to half health. Maybe he doesn't phase. I don't know. Okay, so sometimes I don't take that much damage. Um, as you can see, I'm not fortifying for that much. Oh, I'm getting there. Okay, 20. I do get up there eventually. I just need a couple of bone shatter stacks in order to get it. But yeah, at the moment, I just need to make sure that I'm using my molten shell when he's dropping the balls on, or when they're shooting the balls at me. Lots of cold damage. And the nice thing about my setup as far as... Oop, it's this phase again. Just kind of run to a corner. Or it makes it a little bit easier to dodge. Alright, and then get my fortify stacks back up. With all of my fortifies up... Ooh, there he is. With all of my fortifies up, I am a lot tankier against the balls. Boy, that's a lot of balls. That's going to hinder my regen at some point. So this fight might end up being a ticking time bomb because I haven't been managing the balls very well. Not very well at all. There's not a lot of safe places in the arena. Alright, go over here. Because he keeps moving around, I can't keep my totem up, which is slowing down my ramping a little bit. Alright, we got him to phase. I don't know if the balls stay after the phase. Yeah, the regular mobs here aren't really a problem, even with 70% less damage taken. So... It's gonna be a long fight, but I'm gonna try to timestamp everything. But yeah, it's looking pretty successful so far, especially considering I have more levels to get. Currently, I'm on less than 10 divines worth of gear still, so this could go a long way as far as divines. I think I have like 8 or 9 divines worth invested. I actually technically have more, but a bunch of it is invested in gear that I didn't end up using, or that I tested and didn't use. But I'm wearing about 10 divines worth of gear right now. So, and a lot of that is, I do have one expensive gem. I bought a level 6 empowered, or awakened brutality, rather than a level 5, which only would have been 100 chaos instead of 3 divines, or like 3.3 divines. I don't remember what it was, but it was a 620 awakened brutality, and I'd only have a 520 awakened melee physical damage. So, see how I sit in this guy's dot AoE thing. Okay, this is fine. I wouldn't expect him to do more damage than Shaper with his AoE. But yeah, I just need to push for a little damage. Maybe I can afford to get damage on my Watcher's Eye. Currently, I'm running the Fizz taken as Elemental while affected by Purity of Elements. Oh, that's the other thing I was using the Elevore for, is I had a 100% avoidance of Elemental ailments so that I could run Grace rather than the... but it also made it a lot harder to get my resistances fixed with Purity of Elements, which is once again something that just having a lot of currency would fix. Unfortunately, there's a whole lot that just, you know, if I push this up to a 100 divine character, which I might do, I might go on to my other character in order to be able to actually, you know, farm up some gear and get some good stuff going on this. Yeah, it seems like if you sit in... Oop, I should probably do something here. Yeah, if you sit in a corner, you get hit a little bit less. Yeah. So yeah, I can... this is going a lot better as far as the actual tanking of those balls, which was killing me before, especially when all 3 were hitting me. So I feel like even if I don't succeed this time, which I feel like I will, but even if I don't, I should be able to, with some very small upgrades, complete the Uber Shaper. Well, there goes one of my safe spots. I'm doing terrible at managing the balls. I'll definitely be practicing this fight quite a lot. Um, Once I get a little bit more damage, I'll do Uber Elder as well, which will be, I think, I need to stop letting those land on spots where there are not any. It's just not good. Okay. Yeah, so I can still regen quite a bit. Oh, one of the most helpful things I could get. One of the most helpful things I could get is the boot enchant from Lab, which lets me regen 2% health per second if I've been hit recently. So that's another option that I have. That's another thing I need to set up. Yeah, I'll try to keep them over here. I have a lot of balls here, so I'll definitely get the challenge of having all of the balls built up. There he is. Ooh. Oh, I can actually tank the Shaper Beam for a lot longer than I thought. I mean, if I'm not being hit by other things, and if I'm not on the little dot clouds, then it's basically indefinite how long I could do that. But yeah, as soon as I get on other regen. So yeah, the extra, because regen helps a ton against damage over time. Okay, wait for him to shoot me. Yeah, if I'm on the non-degen ground, I can probably just face tank the. Oop, there goes another one of my safe spots. All right, so I was taking some of his regular hits at the same time. All right, make sure this is up here. There you go. Yeah, I'll start paying more attention to the balls. Like this one, I'll place there. Try to give myself some safe ground, I guess. Yeah, as long as I have 20 fortification and I'm not on the degen ground, I can also tank the regular ball shots now with the Taste of Hate. The Taste of Hate was basically the last piece of the puzzle, I think, in order to get me going. I haven't used Taste of Hate too much because it used to be such a meta item, and I'm such a hipster that I don't like to use super meta items very often, which is why I haven't tried Bone Shatter up until, you know, my recent excursions into Ruthless. Let's at least make sure these are on already put spots. Oop. Oh, okay, there you go. So yeah, I just took a bunch of those when I didn't have my Fortify up, and I didn't use my Molten Shell in time. I got a little bit lazy. So that is the circumstance. Also, it's going to be a little bit dangerous when I first get in here, because I'm not going to have my endurance charges yet, which is part of the reason I want to make sure that I have my resistances capped or overcapped even prior to having my resistances. So I should probably pop my Molten Shell right away just to make sure that isn't an issue. All right, so now I have some stuff up. Get this stuff up here. Press my Molten Shell so that if I get hit by the balls while I'm managing the balls, that doesn't go down. Even my totem actually can survive the slam, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it seems like they're shooting more, and it might be because they're stacked on top of each other there. I don't really have any cast speed, so it's kind of hard for me to cast my vulnerability in between attacks. Alright, so he's doing this again. I'm going to use that as an opportunity to go manage balls, because it seems like they seem to time together pretty well. Alright, so this one. Go ahead and drop Molten Shell. Make sure I'm not. It's kind of hard to see with all the degen ground on there. I didn't bring a Culling Strike to this fight either, so that's going to be interesting. Okay. And we'll get some more balls. I don't know if the actual degens stack for those balls or not either. There you go. Luckily, he keeps starting right on areas where I don't have any of the balls stacked up. Oop. Got a ball coming to me. Oop, and there you go. Getting close. Getting close. 21 Bone Shatter would help a lot, but I'm using Divergent Bone Shatter so that I can ramp up my attack speed faster. So yeah, we've taken 2 deaths, but we've got him most of the way down, and it looks like all we need to do, honestly, just more DPS at this stage would be enough, but yeah, a couple more levels, and basically the DPS isn't the point of this character. The point of this character is to be super tanky, preferably for relatively cheap. Okay, there aren't any balls. Go ahead and drop that. Alright, okay. Well, alright, I'm starting to get sloppy now. It's a lot harder once you start managing all of this. This is gotta be one of the longer Shaper fights of all time. But, you know, I'm sure Quinn has done more. Another thing that would be helpful is to have different amulet enchant, maybe some spell block or something. Yeah, so I need to stop getting fancy and just like really pay attention to my positioning. Right, they're all kind of stacked up together here. And I can't be too afraid to stand on this degen ground. It is something that I can just manage. And yeah, let's just kind of watch out for the balls. I definitely shouldn't have used my Molten Shell there, as I wasn't in any danger. So now if that happens, I will be in danger. But, oh, and there goes one of my last bastions of safety. Okay, so, final phase. Good deal. Yeah, this is getting some real raid boss vibes. Alright. Getting some good practice though, and this will be nice for anybody who does want. Oh, what I could have done too is I do have an extra point I could have put in. I could have moved over to max cold resist for this fight, since he does so much cold damage. That actually might have been very helpful. But I don't know what I would have moved it out of, honestly. So, probably fine to not do that. Yeah. Get a little bit of stuff going on here. I could also, I don't know if I want to yet, but I could also reserve War Banner on my life, which would give me considerably more damage. I don't know why I'm bothering to go and clear things out here. This is kind of a waste. I should just be rushing through to the end. Alright, let's see if this guy's balls do anything to us. I know he's got some kind of gnarly attacks as well, but you know, they shouldn't be anything in comparison to the Shaper's attacks himself, so I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, so if you can tank the Shaper, then this guy can't actually hurt you. Ooh. Yeah, I really feel like I'm getting there. I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit more as far as investment, and I will be set. And levels. Like, probably by level 97 or something, I'll have, like 400 or 500 more life, like 100 more regen. I just need to make sure I'm not panicking, is the only thing. That's the most important part. As long as I don't panic, I'll be absolutely fine. Both of my deaths were just from panicking and not being aware of my surroundings. I do have weapon range, so I can, make sure that I'm set up for that. The slam doesn't do much. I have a good amount of time that I can... Well, didn't set that up very well. Go ahead and throw a molten shell. Sit in the corner. Yeah, it seems like if you sit in the corner, the chances of actually being hit are pretty low. Yeah, the Shaper clones actually ran up and auto-attacked me, which is not something that happens super commonly. Try to get some good DPS during this phase. I probably should... Yeah, I don't have good totem placement speed either, so it's hard for me to simultaneously weave my totem in between attacks as well. Alright, so go up here, find this little spot that is clean. I did take it. Okay. Oh yeah, and I can move around faster with Frostblink too. I should definitely be utilizing that. Oh, I panicked and used my Molten Shell when maybe I didn't need to. So I need to be careful of that. Move down, place totem. I placed it right into the beam. Alright, now is the place the balls and hide in the corner a bit. Kind of see them coming from farther away too. Alright, let's just get all the balls down here. Try to be on a place. I'm not sure if I am successfully... I'm so used to having a panic life flask that I keep pressing my Taste of Hate when that happens, which I have on my slot too. Not that it matters, because pretty much no matter what, it's going to regenerate before. Alright, get into my corner. Try to dodge. You can see most of them coming from pretty far away, so unless I get shotgunned... Yep, I panicked again. Alright, but we still have 2 portals, and he's getting low, and I feel like I'm kind of getting into a rhythm, so... Yeah, this is good practice. I feel like even though I'm kind of botching it, the nice thing, and I found this for all the regular Pinnacle bosses too, when I was learning them, I don't have my Fortify stacks up, so those balls are very dangerous. Now I do, so they're less dangerous, but still dangerous enough that I should move out of the way, and then press my Molten Shell if I can't. Alright, keep vulnerability up, try to get on some ground that isn't degen. Move and play. Man, there's another spot where I'm not good. Kind of prematurely used my Molten Shell again. There goes my safe spot. So I really botched that. Alright. There I can throw down Molten Shell. Get some range, make sure vulnerability's on, start to get some DPS. Looks like this is a more calm phase as far as everything. Alright, I still have this spot that can be a safe spot, so go ahead and put those there. There's not a lot of room to maneuver in this spot though. And okay. So I have one last chance. What I should probably do is go ahead and grab a Culling Strike support for my Ancestral Call. So grab this, and for my Vengeance. Alright, so we have that. And hopefully I'll be able to cull and actually successfully complete this. But if not, I'm really close. I'm so close I can feel it. In terms of just being able to trivialize and tank it, and then also in terms of okay, so I'm just gonna put my Molten Shell on right away so that I can make sure that I've got... Oh, that's a little little gnarly. Make sure I have the protection. Get my ancestral protector down. Do that. Alright. So we have this little corner here. Alright, ooh. Dodging balls. Alright, and now get on top of him. Don't stand in those. Starting to get a little panicky because I'm so close. Just need to not panic. Keep my totem down in case he gets down to culling range, which he should be close to. Okay. Hopefully this will be the last of this phase. Gaze into the abyss, so he's back. Just make sure. Okay, slam I can deal with. Alright. Gaze into the abyss. Oop. Oh no, he was so close. Well, that was my attempt. Not skillfully done, but I guess that was the entire point of this character. So, definitely getting there though. Pretty close. Once I can just kind of sit and take all the balls, what I might do next time is I might spec a point into this max cold resist, since he does so much cold damage. And yeah, this is pretty close. That's my progress as far as getting to the point where I can kind of trivialize the uber bosses. I'll try some other ones at some point. Unfortunately, I lost all of my experience, but I'll probably try to get level 96 for the next video. Might take a day or two, but we will see. And yeah, I'll just go over all of my gear. So this is my weapon. I crafted this myself. For 1 divine, I got a tier 2 hybrid, the Emperor's roll with max fizz damage on this, and then I spammed physical fossils until I got good physical rolls, and then I crafted on attack speed. So that's pretty much it. I kind of needed the dex and int because vulnerability requires more intelligence than I currently have, and at the time I was also using grace, which I have a pair of gloves that gives me like 50 dex, so I can run a level 21 grace. The Elevore I had also had +2 to aura gems, so I was able to put determination on there. Oh, that's another thing I can do too, is I currently only have a level 20 determination. Level 21 should be helpful as well. So, but as far as tanking things for, you know, somebody who has 3,355 unreserved health and does not have petrified blood, pretty good overall. Helmet is physical damage recouped his life. At this point, I may as well do fire damage taken recouped his life. I might take more fire damage, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I do a lot of physical damage to myself still. I need better rolls on the crafted. I need the 8% physical taken as fire, but I don't currently. I used all of my exalts for various things, so I need to farm up some more exalts. But yeah, this was just a kind of essence spammed helmet that I did that had the life regen, tier 1 life regen rate, perfect. And then I just essence spammed life essences on it until I got, you know, intelligence, which I needed at the time very desperately. Basically the setup, actually, I'm not sure, what does vulnerability have? With this on, I actually don't need this. I can craft 20 attack speed onto the weapon, which would be very useful. So that's one thing I could do. But yeah, just a lot of like defensive stuff. You know, the armor and energy shield leave a little to be desired, but it's not bad. I have this with Inveterate. I'll get, boy, I hate to lose that golden, you know, I used a golden oil on it and I don't have any more, so I'll have to buy another one. Guess that's not a huge deal, but yeah, I was using Inveterate. I would like to craft on Growth and Decay because I don't have very much damage over time multiplier at all. That would increase my bleed DPS considerably and give me regen at the same time. So that's my current plan. You know, other things I could potentially do are Veteran Soldier, which also gives me a lot. I believe they both require gold oil anyway. This has higher damage over time multiplier and just flat max life, which wouldn't be bad. I think I have like 130% increased life or so. So that would give me, you know, another, maybe not. I think I'll just go Growth and Decay. Same Dawnbreaker I have been using. I looked into the physical taken as elemental, the corrupts on these, and in order to get one that was well rolled and had physical taken as elemental corrupt, they were very, very expensive. I could get badly rolled ones for pretty cheap, but you know, I do want to keep the higher amount of like cold taken as fire as well, since my max fire resist is 85 and my other ones are only 78, so that helps kind of close the gap on that quite a bit. And then this ring is just you know, a bunch of chaos resist, elemental resists, not a great life roll, some energy shield and some fizz. Same brass dome as I've been using several times and I will no doubt use again. If I get a second one, I might try to double corrupt a brass dome. That'd be cool. +1 level would actually be like huge. Like if I could double corrupt and get +1 level, being able to get that on like the divergent bone shatter and chance to bleed, that kind of stuff would give me a lot more flat damage. So that'd be nice. Second ring is same one I've been using since the beginning. A lot of life, life recoup, some physical damage, some dex, some chaos resist, and fire resist. These gloves are just attack speed, some life regen. Honestly, these aren't great, but they do have a ton of armor. Currently, I have attack speed and damage per strength on them. If I can get a tier 2 chance to bleed, which I believe is a Searing Exarch implicit on them, the greater Searing Exarch implicit, then I actually get a free point because I can get rid of this point, which is giving me 100% or 105% bleed chance currently. Alternatively, I could just get a higher tier roll on this. Since I have such high prefixes on this, one thing I could do is prefixes can't be changed, and I think I can fossil craft. I'm not sure if you can fossil craft with prefixes cannot be changed or not, but I could possibly fossil craft and get like dot multi. Otherwise, I could just harvest reroll physical is another way I could do it, until I get the tier 1 roll of attacks have chance to cause bleeding and damage with bleeding. And then I'd also like to get dot multi and then attack speed ideally would be my 3 dream suffixes on this. This is like a 530 or so DPS weapon. Belt. This is a synthesized belt I got that had flash charges gained, and then I just kind of you know, spammed, I think maybe fossils on it, and then crafted flask effect duration. I didn't need much flask effect duration, just enough to get these to 10 seconds, so literally even a min roll would have worked. Alternatively, having enough flask effect duration overall to get these to 15 seconds would make it so I didn't need to have increased flash charge gained, and that would give me like something that I could go over the charge recovery. So there are some options there. And then these same boots. And then, yeah, lastly, I have a level 84 Basalt Flask with tier 1 charge recovery. And then, yeah, just tier 4 armor, unfortunately. But, you know, until I can kind of fix things, that's what I'm going to use. I'd like to try to get tier 1 armor. And honestly, I have enough. I have a ton of alterations. I should just roll for it, but that's pretty much the setup. And yeah, just a kind of not great rolled Taste of Hate. I could get a 15% one. The physical is extra cold, doesn't actually matter at all though, so That's an important thing to note. Just does not matter even a little bit. Because I am using Brutality. So yeah, my gem setup is Divergent Bone Shatter. I tried to get level 21. I was ready to buy a backup 2020 because if the quality goes down, then I brick the effect of the Divergent. It needs to be 20% to get the 1% attack speed. It doesn't seem to have a fraction of a percent that it can go up. This cost me 3 divines. I could have bought a 520 for 100 chaos instead, and probably should have, because this is like a good third of the entire cost of my build, which isn't great. 2120 chance to bleed. This was 10 chaos. People must not value 2120 chance to bleed very high. I know bleed isn't super popular, so it kind of makes sense. 520 melee fizz, which was 99 chaos yesterday when I bought it. I think I bought it yesterday, yeah. 2020 Fortify, failed to 21 that. And then Ruthless, which I don't have. The attack damage doesn't actually help scale my bleed, but I do a considerable amount of regular damage because literally all of this also scales my regular damage, so that's why I could still stun things and still do like AoE clear. Even without my charges, I still do an average of like 18,000 physical hit. Even without any of my endurance charges and stuff up. And then, of course, somebody asked how I was maintaining my mana cost on energy shield. That was because I am using Eldritch Battery, which I used from one of the tiers, Lycia's tiers or whatever that you get from the Sanctum. I use that on this. This is going to be useful for a lot of builds because it's easy to sneak in a very small amount, and is especially nice for Bone Shatter because you can combine it with Divine Shield and the Armor and Energy Shield Mastery, which makes me defend with 120% of armor when not on low energy shield. And that combination will allow me to basically constantly be at full energy shield, so I never have to worry about, running low on that, and that gives me a permanent 20% more multiplier on my armor. So that puts me at like 122% effective armor at all times, or 122,000 rather. I have what I thought was a really good Brutal Restraint that I bought. I forgot to properly set it up, so I saw the increased effect of non-curse aura skills here, but unfortunately I forgot to have it filtered so it was only ones that I had allocated. So I have like some weird ones that have increased like attack and cast speed and increased aura effect. But I'll be able to use this for future builds because watch this. Down here where I have my Watcher's Eye, oh man, I'm gonna make the coolest aura stacking champion on the two-handed. So I was thinking of like a two-handed Frostblades, maybe axe, aura stacking, hatred stacking champion. 8% here, accuracy, which is nice. 8% on cloth and chain aura effect. 8% on vigor aura effect. Cold resist, that won't be relevant. Attack and cast speed on assured strikes. Attack and cast speed on Art of the Gladiator. Max life on bravery. So yeah, pretty nutty there. That's like Dex. There's life on Titanic Impacts as well. So yeah, huge. And attack and cast speed on the Mace one too. So if I decide to go Mace, that'd be nice. So this is actually a really crazy jewel with 3 aura effect things that are on pretty desirable and a lot of attack and cast speed. Overall, really crazy for this point, and I'll 100% be using that on a champion for sure. I have another interesting champion idea as well, so yeah, that's nice. But yeah, this gives me some dex as well. The bonuses it does give me are evasion rating, fizz is extra cold, and flash charges gained, which is the only good thing out of all of these. So it's useless except for the trader. Unfortunately, it does not reach down to iron reflexes when it's placed here, so I can't use it there. In order to get, it would be, I would probably allocate cloth and chain at that point, and that would give me 16% aura effect. As you can see, I've added a cluster jewel, which I have battle hardened, which was even more useful when I had the iron reflexes grace setup, which I might move back to. This cluster jewel also has chaos resist, increased effect, and all elemental resistances. I got this megalomaniac for only, I think it was 70 or 80 chaos, and it has Born of Chaos plus 3 max chaos res. It has non-flammable, which is plus 1 fire res and 20 fire res, and then it also has wizardry, which is plus 2 lightning res. So this was like a really crazy max res stacking megalomaniac that I had here. So I could still get 3 more max lightning resist and 1 more max cold resist if I desired to do so. Before the next time I fight Uber Shaper, I'll definitely be allocating this though, because in retrospect that would have made things a lot easier, but I didn't want to drop any damage is the problem. So yeah, I'm going to try to get some more damage. The 2 rare jewels that I'm using are Corrupted Blood Can't Be Inflicted on You with attack speed, physical damage, damage with bleeding, and damage over time. This is an extremely good jewel for this build, and probably where a ton of my damage comes from. And then I have a reduce effective curses on you, which is my second source of that. So I have less than 50% of effective curses on me. I'd like to get that to 100% at some point. Physical damage, damage with bleeding, attack speed, and Fizz dot multi, which I don't have a ton of. I have a couple of points on here, which give Fizz dot multi, so 12 and 15, so 27 total from this. And then I don't think this gives it. No. So, oh, and then I have 3% dot multi per endurance charge. So that's another, what is it, 21%? Or yeah, I have 7 endurance charges currently. So that's another 21%. So I don't have a ton of Fizz dot multi. I think you can roll up to like 28% on a weapon. So that'd be nice. That would increase my damage considerably. Oh, and I have dot multi down here as well. Damage with ailments, and then 10 dot multi here. Less damage taken from damage over time from the damage over time mastery. This was one of my reasons I decided to go with a bleed version. And yeah, that's pretty much all the major changes. Crimson Dance, everything else is pretty much the same. So I plan on pushing this. As you can see, I'm this close. I'm super close. Hopefully next time I'll get there. Sorry for the long fight, but I did want to kind of showcase the capabilities of this and, kind of the limitations. That's where I'm at Uber Shaper. Level 96 and 97. I should be able to hopefully start trivializing Ubers. Uber Shaper is one of the harder ones overall. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to also, like I said, I've gotten wave 30 Simulacrum. Hopefully I'll be able to start consistently beating Simulacrum with this character as well. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. I know a lot of this tanky stuff isn't as exciting to watch as like the zoomy Frostblade stuff, but I'm kind of enjoying the change of pace and building around the attempt to be immortal, basically. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.